National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Bringing you the news from Sri Lanka and across the world, it's your national news broadcast on Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. I'm Siobhan Pereira.
And I'm Kalpani Balachandra. We start off with a look at your headlines for tonight.
Final report on the public service salary increase presented to the President today. All crop loans written off. Instant visa facilities for 14 days. Postal voting begins tomorrow. President says he is a leader who fulfilled his promises. Presidential candidate Sajith Premadasa pledges again to safeguard the state employee. Presidential candidate Anura Kumara Disanayake says the special plan to build the nation is with him. Cabinet directs attention to call nominations once again for the local government election. 47 killed in Ukraine following a missile strike.
We move on to those and other stories in detail, and in your top local story tonight, the final report of the Presidential Expert Committee, which includes recommendations for increase in public service and salaries as well as allowance effective from 1st of January, was presented to President Ranil Wickremesinghe today.
It was held at the Presidential Secretariat. Now, Committee Chairman Udaya R. Seneviratne, along with other committee members, were present at this occasion. The final report, which was to be submitted within 3 months, presents an 18-point policy outlining the reforms to be implemented in the public service and the proposed salary increases. President Ranil Wickremesinghe said that as the economy continued to develop in 2024, the focus was shifted to restructuring public sector salaries and allowances. He said that he intends to act on the recommendations and forward the report to the Ministry of Finance for further review. He said that this initiative is expected to raise incomes as suggested in the committee's report. Committee Chairman Udaya R. Seneviratne said that the basic salary is 30,000 rupees, with the salary structure revising according to a ratio of 1:6. Accordingly, it was recommended to allocate 50% of the cost of living allowance to public servants and pensioners, ensuring the salary increase benefits nearly 1.5 million government employees and pensioners, he added. Remarks were also shared in this regard at the Cabinet media briefing today. Cabinet spokesman Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena said that these measures were taken with a systematic program, and this report will be incorporated into the budget draft following the Cabinet approval. He said that the budget has to be drafted despite the election, as funds are remaining only for the next 4 months. He said that the budgets from 2025 to 2027 have to be drafted with the support of the International Monetary Fund.
Parliamentarian Premanath Dulawat says that the government has proposed to increase the salary of state employees not merely as an election pledge, but will be carried out within a proper methodology. He said that this decision was reached after forecasting that only 23% of the state revenue would have to be allocated from next year. He made his remarks while speaking at the Parliament today. Parliamentarian Premanath Dulawat said that the ability to extend the state sector salary is based on percentage between the tax revenue and the overall state sector salary expenditure. He said that if the percentage is over 25, it is considered as a burden to the government. In 2024, the tax revenue is estimated at 3,880 million, while the state sector salary amount is at 905 billion rupees, which is 23.7%. Accordingly, he said that the salary hike from January next year is based on this measure. This proposal to increase the salary of state employees is not merely as an election pledge, but has been carried out within a proper methodology. He said that while Anura Kumara Disanayake has claimed it is difficult to extend this 25,000 rupee hike, his president, as the finance minister, has said that it is possible. Minister Mahinda Amaravira said that the JVP makes various claims over paddy and rice values and rates. However, he said that they never compare paddy prices and rice prices. He said that one of the organizations claimed that 1 kilogram of Nadu paddy should be purchased at 150 rupees. He said that if paddy is purchased at 150 rupees, then the rice price should increase to 300 rupees. Therefore, he said that if anyone has an opinion on paddy price, then they should also consider the consumer price of rice. The government has already decided to increase the fertilizer subsidy, which will be implemented from next month.
පෝරණිකුත් කරන්න කටයුතු කරනවා කැබිනට් අනුමැතිය ලැබිලා තියෙනවා. එතකොට වෙන්නේ රුපියල් 4000ක වගේ මිලක් තමයි පෝර හොන්ඩරයක් වෙනුවෙන් ගොවීන්ට වැය කරන්න වෙන්නේ.
Kanna Ratnapanavithana is sworn in as a parliamentarian at the beginning of the parliament session today. He sworn in to fill the Samagijana Balavege Ratnapura district vacant seat left by former parliamentarian Tanata Atukorala.
Now, the government has reached a decision to immediately write off all crop loans acquired by farmers for agricultural purposes. Responding to requests received from several farmer associations, the government has made this decision with the intention to provide financial relief and support to farmers.
The Cabinet of Ministers has decided to implement an immediate program to provide on-arrival visa at the airport for a period of 14 days instantly. Minister Bandra Gunawardena made a clarification in this regard during the Cabinet briefing held today. Cabinet spokesman Minister Bandra Gunawardena said that the Cabinet of Ministers decided to implement an immediate program to issue instant 14-day on-arrival visa at the airport similar to Singapore. He said that the President appointed a committee which consists of the President's Secretary and legal officers to look into the possibility to grant 14-day on-arrival visa for those who visit the country. Accordingly, he said that the President informed relevant authorities at the Cabinet meeting to take immediate steps to declare the relevant procedure and proceed ahead with instant visa process. Views were also shared over the issuance of passports at the briefing. Cabinet spokesman Minister Bandra Gunawardena said that adhering to the need for a transparent tender and procurement process, according to the IMF agreement, a delay has occurred in obtaining digitized passports from a different agency outside the long-term regular passport provider. He said that until October, passports will not be prepared at the previous pace, for which the government expresses its regret. He also said that the President and the Subject Minister have intervened into this process. He said that by October, a new digitalized passport at a lower rate will be made available for the public.
In some great news from the Paralympics, Sri Lanka's Samita Dulan was able to win the silver medal in the javelin throw event under the F64 category in the Paris Paralympics 2024. Now he managed to set a new world record in the F44 category, which she represents.
Dulan Kodathawaku of Sri Lanka, third in Tokyo. Chance for a medal, of course. Good healthy throws first up from the first four competitors. Third in Tokyo was the Sri Lankan. Wanting to improve on that.
This is the first medal won by Sri Lanka in this Paralympics. He managed to record a distance of 67.03 meters. Samita Dulan was also the previous record holder, the world record holder in the F44 category with a record of 66.49 meters. Athletes took part in the Paralympic F64 category javelin throw event under 5 categories. The gold, silver and bronze medals were awarded to the top 3 athletes of this category. Samita Dulan previously won the bronze medal at the Tokyo Paralympics in 2020.
Still Sumit the man to beat. He's thrown over 70 metres. Kodathawaku. Sri Lankan and Indian athletes.
Recently as May in Kobe. Serves in the military police of the Sri Lanka Army and he was on target. Sri Sri Lanka's Julian Goretuwaku is silver.
Postal voting related to the presidential election will commence tomorrow. The distribution of ballot papers has already been initiated. Elections Commissioner Saman Sri Ratnayaka said that postal voting will commence tomorrow at election department related officers, district secretariats and officers belonging to the secretariats, police stations, officers of senior police superintendents and deputy inspector general officers. He said that September 5th and 6th will be opened for other officials to cast their postal vote in all other state institutions. He said that if an officer was unable to cast their postal vote on the scheduled dates, they will be given the opportunity to cast their vote on the 11th and 12th of September at the relevant district secretariats. He said that this procedure will be across all 25 districts.
විශේෂ තැපැදන් සලකුණුවේ මධ්‍යස්ථානයක් සකස් කරනවා. මේක දිස්ත්‍රික්ක 25ෙම ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා. කච්චේරිය ආශ්‍රිතව. ඒතර එතෙන්ට අවිලා පුළුවන් ඔබට ඡන්දය සලකුණු කරන්න.
The Department of Postal Service commenced the distribution of ballot papers for the presidential election 2024 today. Senior Deputy Postmaster General Rajitha K. Ranasinghe said that the distribution of ballot papers for the presidential election was commenced today. He said that a special date of September 8th has been named for the distribution of ballot papers. He urged the public to remain in their residences on this special day to support the distribution activities.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe says that he is a leader who fulfilled all promises. Speaking at a public rally in Palmaglud today, the president said that he has the team which can bring the true change in the country. President Ranil President Ranil Wickremesinghe said that the final report of the Presidential Expert Committee, which includes recommendations for increasing public service salaries and allowances, was presented to him today. He said that they have fulfilled another promise they have made. He said that he would invite the NPP and SJB to remove the sections on state sector salaries from their manifestos. He said that a mechanism should be in place to eradicate corruption. He said that only he has the mechanism in this regard. The president said that in 1971, the JVP formed a court in Urugas Junction and made Mayor Mallika to hear the cases. However, instead of these moves, he said that the Anti-Corruption Commission and the Attorney General's Department should be given the authority in this regard. He said that they will bring change to the economy, society and politics. He said that by supporting Sajith Premadasa, they are only strengthening Anura Kumara Disanayaka.
මම එකක් කියන්න කැමතියි. සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාසට දිනන්න බෑ. සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස දෙන ඡන්දේ ඇත්ත වශයෙන්ම අනුර කුමාර ශක්තිමත් කරන එකක් විතරයි. ඒ අය කරන්නේ අනුර කුමාරට අත දෙනවා. අර මනමේ කුමාරි වාගේ. ඒක කරන්න එපා කියලා මම ඒ අයට මතක් කරනවා.
Presidential candidate Sajith Premadasa says that since the state service is a valuable resource to the country, under his government the state employee will be protected through fixed salary increments while ensuring their job security. He made his remarks during a public rally held in Vaunia today. This was the 31st public rally organised by Samaga Jana Balawegaya targeting the presidential election. Senior members of the party and various professionals were present at this occasion.
ආදරණීය
Former parliamentarian Hidnika Premachandra said that despite wearing official uniforms, the public continue to work and fulfill their duties as state employees. She urged them to take a decision over the next leader who would bring dignity to state service. She said that they have the leader who can fulfill these aspirations and a team to support.
ගුණාත්මක භාවයක් එකතු කරන ඔබට මේ සමාජය ඇතුලේ ගෞරවයක් ඇති කරන නායකයෙක් සහ කණ්ඩායමක් එක්ක හිට ගන්න. ඒ නිසා මම ආරාධනා කරන ඔබ සියලු දෙනාට අභිමානවත් රටක් ඇතුලේ අභිමාණයෙන් ආඩම්බරයෙන් ගෞරවයෙන් හමුගේ රාජ්‍ය සේවය කරන්න පුළුවන් පරිසරයක් හදන්න පුළුවන් එකම පුද්ගලයා සජිත් ප්‍රේමදාස මැතිතුමා විතරයි.
පැය 24 මෙතුමා එන් කරලා තියෙනවා.
Former parliamentarian Sujiva Senasinghe said that Sajid Premadasa has dedicated his entire time for public service. He said that his hobby is to be with the public and to improve their living standards. As a leader, he has the capacity in this regard, and Sajid Premadasa has experience over 25 to 30 years on economy, agriculture and fisheries industries. Presidential candidate Sajid Premadasa said that the state sector was considered by the government and alternative groups as a burden. He said that only Samagajana Balavegyo raised their voice for a smart state service sector, for a smart country by making proposals to initiate new training programs, to improve skills of the employees and to improve knowledge on technology to safeguard the state service.
තාක්ෂණික වශයෙන් දැනුමෙන් සන්නද්ධ කිරීම ඒ යෝජනා ඉදිරිපත් කරලා සුහුරු රටකට අවශ්‍ය සුහුරු රාජ්‍ය සේවය වෙනුවෙන් හඬක් නැතුවේ සමගි ජන බලවේගයයි සමගි ජන සන්ධානයයි 21 වෙනිදාන් පස්සේ ඒ නගපු හඬ ක්‍රියාවට නංවන්නට අපි කටයුතු කරනවා. පොලිස් සේවයේ බටායක ලබා දීලා තිබෙනවා මාස 3කට. අපි ඒක ස්ථිර බටාවක් බවට පත් කරනවා. ඒ වගේම පොලිස් සේවයේ උසස් වීම නතර වෙලා තිබෙනවා. වහා මේක අපි ක්‍රියාත්මක කරනවා. විවිධ හමුදා one rank one pension සංකල්පය අපි ක්‍රියාත්මක කරනවා. අපි සිවිල් ආරක්ෂක ශ්‍රේෂ්ඨය සුරක්ෂා කරනවා. උතුරු පළාතේ ජනතාවට කියන්න කැමති රටේම ජනතාවට කියන්න කැමති අවසන් කරන්නට බැරි වුණු හැම නිවාස යෝජනා ක්‍රමයක්ම හැම නිවසම ඉදි කරලා අවසන් කරනවා පමණක් නොවේ. ඉඩම් නොමැති නිවෙස් නොමැති පවුල් වලටත් අපි ඉඩම් ලබා දෙනවා නිවාස ලබා දෙනවායි කියන එක මම මේ අවස්ථාවේ ප්‍රකාශ කරනවා.
Presidential candidate of the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramuna Namal Rajapaksa says that new technology will be introduced to improve the efficiency of the state service. He made these remarks at a public rally held in Nivitikala yesterday. Venerable Ittakande Saddatisa Thera said that the time has come to make a young leader as the president for the motherland. The Thera recited a poem on how youth is the next in line to bear up the future.
මාගේ මේ මව් බිමට කාලය එළඹ ඇත යුතුයකම කරන්නට අත් පොළසමක් දෙමුනා මල් පිපෙන්නට මේ රටේ හොරකම පුරුදු කරේ
Parliamentarian D. Veerasinghe said that the JVP is responsible for bringing the habits such as theft, murder and arson. Therefore, he said that the public should understand the plight of the country if they are being elected at the elections. He said that they support Rajapaksas for the development they have achieved in the country. Presidential candidate Namal Rajapaksa said that they developed the nation. He said that former President Mahinda Rajapaksa created a political force which would not hesitate to take necessary decisions and make policies for betterment of the country. He said that the development has stopped after 2015. He said that they also had to face the COVID-19 pandemic, and during which they only focused on saving lives. He said that they gave up power with the intention to stabilize the country. He said that today a stable environment has been created to form a stable government. He said that only through technology and modernization they can overcome this crisis.
ආණ්ඩුව අතහැරලා අපි රාජ්‍ය ආරක්ෂා කරන කටයුතු කරපු නිසා අද අපිට ස්ථාවර ආණ්ඩුවක් හදා ගන්න පුළුවන් වපසරයක් අපේ රටේ නිර්මාණය කරගන්නවා. දැන් සමහරු කියනවා පෝලිං යුගය අවසන් කරා. ඉතින් පැහැදිලිවම දේශපාලන වේදිකාවේ පෝලිං අයින් කිරීම නෙවෙයි තාක්ෂණය පාවිච්චි කළා මේ රටේ ජනතාවට සපයන සේවාවන් නවීකරණය කරා ගමන් කිරීම තුලින් පමණයි සැබෑ පෝලිං යුගය අවසන් කරන්න පුළුවන් කියන එකයි මම විශ්වාස කරන්නේ.
A decision was reached to grant provisions to call nominations once again in order to secure fundamental rights of voters deprived of the right to vote and the right to be nominated to be voted at the local government election. The Cabinet of Ministers granted approval for the joint proposal furnished in this regard. It is apparent that more than 900,000 newly included voters in the electoral list revised in the year 2024 are to be deprived of their right to vote and be nominated to be voted at the upcoming local government elections due to unprecedented postponement of local government elections scheduled to be held on the 9th of March 2023. It is apparent that only the voters registered until January 2023, in which the date nominations for local government elections scheduled to be held in the future are eligible to cast votes, since the nominations for that election have been called and concluded. Accordingly, the Cabinet of Ministers granted approval for the consolidated proposal furnished to call back the nominations that have already been called for local government elections 2023 and to call nominations once again for conducting local government elections based on the electoral register of 2024. The relevant proposal was presented by the Prime Minister in his capacity as the Minister of Public Administration, Home Affairs, Provincial Councils and Local Government and the Minister of Justice, Prison Affairs and Constitutional Reforms. The Cabinet of Ministers has approved the joint proposal presented to train 7,500 teachers selected from the schools on robotics and artificial technology under 3 stages by the Scott campus. The President in his capacity as the Minister of Technology and Minister of Education presented the relevant proposal. The Cabinet of Ministers has approved the proposal presented by the Minister of Higher Education to revise the course fee from 8th stage of the interest-free student loan scheme as per the recommendations of the Technological Consultative Committee and also to obtain the collaboration of the National Savings Bank for the loan scheme. The program expects to enroll 7,000 students per stage from 8th stage of the student loan scheme. Clearance of the Attorney General has been granted to the draft bill formulated by the legal draftsman to award the right to an individual to decide whether that person's dead body should be disposed by burial or cremation after his death. Also, in this case, such will not be declared by the dead person. The right to decide whether the body of the dead person should be buried or cremated be entrusted with the deceased individual's closest relative, considering the deceased individual's preferences and religious, cultural or personal beliefs. The Cabinet of Ministers granted approval to the resolution furnished by the Minister of Justice, Prison Affairs and Constitutional Reforms to publish the accordingly formulated draft bill in the Government Gazette notification and to submit it to the Parliament for its concurrence.
President Ranil Wickremesinghe expressed his pride in witnessing a presidential election centered on the economy, steering away from issues of race, religion or caste. Now, the president made these remarks while speaking at the Ask Me Anything special program organized by the Professionals Forum in Colombo yesterday. The event, attended by a large number of professionals from various fields across Sri Lanka, provided a platform for direct engagement with the president.
I will not go into the details of what we have done or the details of the policies. What I say is you have an agreement which has given you $3 billion from the IMF till next year and breathing space to repay the debt which you have till 2042 and more so a relief of $10 billion as far as the interest payments are. Now this is what you have in hand. Are you going to throw it away? I realize that this country needs transformation. To start that transformation, we can ride out of this crisis, say by 2042. If you don't transform your economy to an export-oriented economy, long before 2042, the crisis will hit you again, somewhere between 2035 and 2040. Because while we got time to repay the debt, we'll be incurring more debt as we go along. We are looking at the other areas, especially a social justice commission, to deal with the social issues, the social disabilities that plague us. Our country still are carrying on the remnants of a feudal system, of caste, of race. All that has to be put aside.
I was wondering how your experience in that cabinet informed your decisions in 2022 when you took up the post of Prime Minister, and how it informed your approach to reviving Sri Lanka's economy in the face of the crisis.
Well, being in President Jayawardena's cabinet was certainly an experience. We went through very turbulent times, firstly economic, then political. We've learned a lot on how to be ministers, what is collective responsibility, how to work as a team, and not to get stuck in conventional thinking. It all depends on the numbers that you can get, who is available there. And you could work with a small team. I think that helped me a lot when I came here.
So your future plan for that as well, the current ongoing passport. Can you please give us a solution, Mr. President? That's all. Thank you.
And we don't want to go back on it. In the process of getting the e-passport, there were delays in the procurement system. And as a government, we had to take responsibility for it. But we didn't want to go back into a conventional passport. We thought we will go ahead, take the blackguarding we are getting now for the shortage of passports. By October, you'll all be on e-passport. So with that, the issue will be over. We are trying to issue more passports in the coming few weeks too. Government is there. We are also trying to ensure the e-passport is cheaper than the present one. So you have to bear with us, but we are getting on to the next stage of digitalization.
Presidential candidate of the National People's Power, Andrukumar Dissanayake, says that he possesses significant plans required to build the nation. He made these remarks at a public rally held in Badulla yesterday. Veteran actor Buddhadasa Vithanarachi inquired whether the country is truly enjoying its freedom, its sovereignty, its democracy or its socialism. Therefore, he said that in order to create a positive society, one of their own is coming to compete on the 21st of September. He said that the public need to elect the leader of National People's Power to resolve the persisting issues in the country. The president represents the working class unlike in previous years.
මේ සියලු දේවල් සිද්ධ වුණේ අපේ පන්තියේ නොවන එවුම් අපි පත් කරගත්ත නිසා. පෞල් දේශපාලනයේ
Former parliamentarian Samantha Vidyaratan said that Andrukumar Dissanayake is the only leader who represents the working class. He said that without any family background or links, he managed to grow himself to become the leader today. Presidential candidate Andrukumar Dissanayake said that the National People's Power forecasted the crisis which the country was heading towards. He said that they continue to raise their voice in this regard. They also saw the possibility to gain power in the last 2 to 3 years. However, he said that there was no opportunity for them to clinch the power. He said that they appointed around 35 committees to prepare the needful plans to rebuild the nation. These committees reached out to grassroots levels and considered the prevailing resources. They also looked into the economic trends and global forecasts subsequently. He said that they managed to come up with a strong 230-page manifesto for the nation.
ජාතික ජනබලවේගය අපි ඉතා සැලසුම් සහගතව මේ රට ගොඩනැගීම සඳහා අවශ්‍ය වෙන වැඩපිළිවෙල සකස් කිරීම සඳහා කමිටු 34 35ක් පත් කරා. පත් කරලා ගම්වලට ගියා. ඒ අය මුණ ගැහුණා. රටේ තියෙන සම්පත් දෙස බැලුවා. ලෝකයේ තිබෙන ආර්ථික ප්‍රවණතාවයන් දෙස කල්පනා කරා. ලෝකයේ අනාගතයේ ලෝකය ගැන හදලා තියෙන පුරෝකතනයන් ගැන කල්පනා කරා. කල්පනා කරන්න අපි රට ගොඩනැගීමට සමත් වෙන ඉතාමත් ශක්තිමත් පිටු 230 ගණනකට තියෙන මැතිවරණ ප්‍රකාශනකුත් හදන වැඩපිළිවෙලකුත් ඉදිරිපත් කරනවා.
Presidential candidate of the Socialist Equality Party, Pani Vijay Siriwardena, says that only a true Labour government can fulfill the aspirations of the labourers and farmers. Now, he made these remarks during a media briefing held at the Government Information Department today. Presidential candidate of Socialist Equality Party, Pani Vijayasiriwardena, said that more benefits can be reaped, especially for farmers, by taking banks under the state. He said that all loans could be written off. He said that the repayment of loans given to small-scale farmers could be waived off through this measure. He said that concessionary loans can be provided for small-scale entrepreneurs and traders. He also proposed to take all large-scale industries under state rule. He said that through this measure, an equal place can be assured for estate workers and even provide a pension and a monthly salary for them.
වතුකම්කරුවන්ට අනික්කම්කරුවන්ට වගේම විශ්‍රාමික වැටුපක් ඒ වගේම මාසික වැටුපක් ඒ වගේම අපි යෝජනා කරන ජීවන වියදම වැඩිවීමට අනුව වැඩිවන වැටුපක් සම්පාදනය කරන්න පුළුවන්.
Presidential candidate Victor Anthony says that he is aware that he will not be victorious at the presidential election, but his intention is to assist the journey of the public in search of a good leader. He made these remarks to media in Chile yesterday. Presidential candidate Victor Anthony said that he will never be the president of the country. However, he said that his intention is to assist the journey of the public in search of a good leader. He said that the public elect leaders without learning the truth about the candidates. Therefore, he said that his duty is to make people understand the truth and create an awareness on the long history of the country.
පවුර බින්දින්න යන්නේ මේ දුෂ්ටකමට දොරටුව විවෘත කරගන්නයි යන්නේ. ඒක නිසා ජනතාවට මේක තේරුම් කර දීම මගේ යුතුයකමක් හැටියට මම දකිනවා. දීර්ඝ ඉතිහාසයක්. මේ සිද්ධ වෙච්ච විනාශය ගැන නොකියම බෑ ජනතාව. විපක්ෂයේ කෙනෙකුගේ රැස්වීමකට සහභාගී වෙච්ච අම්මගේ දරුවට කිරිදි දීනකොට දරුවා ඇදලා විසි කරලා පයෝදර කපලා ඝාතනය කරන්න තරම් දුෂ්ට සමාජයක් මේ රටේ බිහි කරන්න හදනවා නම් කෙනෙක් මහා පාපයක්. ගමේ මිනිස්සුන්ට මුදලාලි ඛණ්ඩ දෙයක් නැහැ. අපිට කරුණාකර ලෑල්ලක් කරන බඩු ටිකක් දෙන්න කියද්දී හැයක් කන් ඉස්සෙල්ලා මුදලාලිගේ පෙල්ලේ වැටේ ගහන්න තරම් දුෂ්ට සමාජයක් මේ රටට බිහි කරන්න මොන තරම් පාපයක්ද කියලා මේ දහම් පවුර විදගෙන නේද මේ යන්නේ.
Presidential candidate Venerable Battaramulle Seelarathanathera took part in a public meeting in Maabola Vattala yesterday. During the meeting, the Thera urged the public to usher and use their valuable vote wisely without being deceived by false promises of certain presidential candidates. Presidential candidate Venerable Battaramulle Seelarathanathera said that many candidates make promises to the public before the elections but refrain from fulfilling them after gaining power. The Thera said that if Anurakumara Dissanayake wins the election, the country will fall back to the period of 88-89. Therefore, the Thera said that these entities should be chased out without electing them to power. The Thera said that these entities have brainwashed youth groups. The Thera further said that those who support this party do so for future benefits and privileges. The Thera said that the 225 members of the parliament are not people with virtues but crooks.
කතා කරන්න දෙයක් නැද්ද රටේ මිනිස්සු රටේ ජනතාව ගැන කතා කරන්න බැයිද රටේ ජනතාවේ කොපමණ ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවද මේ රටේ ජනතාවගේ ප්‍රශ්න කතා කරන්න මුන්ට බෑ ඇයි මොම් පට්ටපල් හොරු ඒ කියන්නේ පාර්ලිමේන්තුවේ හිටපු 225 දෙනාම මතක තියාගන්න හොරු මිසක් හොඳ මිනිස්සු නෙමෙයි.
We'll be right back with some foreign news items right after this short break. Stay tuned. and hospital in central Ukraine's Poltava city. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky said that due to the attack, at least 47 people were reported dead and another 200 were injured. Ukraine's Ministry of Defense asserted that people were hit while heading to bomb shelters shortly after an air raid siren, and many people were still trapped under the rubble. The strike appeared to be one of the deadliest carried out by Russian forces since the war began on February 24, 2022. There was no immediate confirmation of the attack from Russia. Ukraine's President Zelensky has asked Western partners for more air defense systems and missiles to strike deep into Russian territory to prevent missile attacks like the one on Poltava.
Tens of thousands of Israelis have hit the streets yesterday demanding a ceasefire deal, and Israel's main labor union has called for a strike after 6 more captives were found dead in Gaza. Due to violating the international laws, the United Kingdom has taken a decision to suspend providing some arms sales to Israel. United Kingdom Foreign Secretary David Lammy said that the United Kingdom would be suspending 30 out of 350 arms export license to Israel, affecting equipment such as parts of fighter jets, helicopters and drones. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has said that the United Kingdom's decision to suspend some arms sales to the country is disgraceful. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu insisted Israeli control of the Philadelphia corridor, a narrow band along Gaza's border with Egypt, where Israel contends Hamas smuggles weapons into Gaza, was a necessary part of any ceasefire agreement.
And that was a look at your news here at Sri Lanka Rupavahini Corporation. I am Siobhan Pereira, together with Kasuni Balachandra Adhikari. Wish you a pleasant evening. Take care.
Good night.